Forget about all the other wives. Henry VIII saved the best to last. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should choose Catherine Parr. The first is that she's been written off throughout history as a dowdy old widow, who Henry VIII married only on the basis of her nursing abilities, and Thomas Seymour married only to get to the teenage Elizabeth. But it's not fair or true. She wasn't dowdy. Her most recently identified portrait shows her beauty and sartorial flair. She wasn't old. She was the same age as Anne Boleyn when Henry married her, and she certainly wasn't boring. She was vital, passionate, intelligent, and dynamic. The second reason to choose her is that her life story reads like a romantic fiction. She had great personal peril, great romantic intrigue. When she was 16, she was married off to a frail young boy her father-in-law bullied her. She married again after he died to a man 20 years her senior, had to bring up his troubled teenage children, was carried off by an armed mob during the Pilgrimage of Grace, and finally when he died and she met the man of her dreams, the tall, handsome, charismatic Thomas Seymour, the king demanded that she marry him. So she married him, survived the period of danger of marrying Henry VIII, which is an achievement in itself, and after he died, finally got to marry Thomas, the man that she loved. But then the story doesn't end there. Within a year and a half, she'd given birth to her first child and then died after childbirth. Thomas Seymour was so broken by her death that he committed a series of crazy acts that led to his execution at Tower Hill. So we need to choose her because of her romantic, passionate story. And finally, we need to choose her because she was a great female and feminist role model. She was strong-willed and outspoken. She was influential. She had all sorts of protégés, including Miles Coverdale, Thomas Ridley, who was later martyred during Mary's reign, and Matthew Parker, who was the first Archbishop under Elizabeth. She was the first Queen of England to publish a book. She was the first Englishwoman in the 16th century to write a work of prose. She was a patron to the arts, to musicians and artists. She founded Trinity College, Cambridge. She inspired creativity and excellence. She also brought up Henry's 3 motherless children. And her influence on the young Elizabeth was particularly profound. We know that her example of womanly rule during the period when she was Regent General, just as Catherine of Aragon had been, but it's only one of Catherine Parr's many achievements, was such an inspiration to Elizabeth of female rule that it guided her and showed her how to be a queen. Arguably, our greatest queen ever learnt from the basis of Catherine Parr. So she did all these things, but she was still beautiful, passionate, well-dressed and exciting. You've got to choose Catherine Parr.